But if I go with you, I could really go with a great steak. But if I went with you, maybe some seafood, some nice white there. Oh, hey, sorry. I didn't realize you were there. So I'm here for my March monthly update. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the things that I have going on, some of the stuff that I'm looking forward to, and we'll recap for February and get ready for March. So looking back to February, I had 2 episodes that came out in February, episode 33 and episode 34. Episode 33 was for Inwood Estates Vineyards. Great episode with Dan Gatlin. I highly recommend you go check that one out if you haven't had a chance to yet. Great discussions about terroir, if there is such a thing as terroir, or how important yield limits are on the grapevines and things like that. Really cool episode. And while I was there, I tasted a really good Cabernet Franc that I made my library bottle. So we have the Illumina wines. This is their Cabernet Franc that's from the Texas High Plains. So you'll want to make sure and check that out when you go to see Inwood Estates and try that Cab Franc. I really enjoyed it. And then episode 34, I moved up a little bit north of that to Mason, Texas, and got a chance to visit with Dan McLaughlin and his son Blake at Robert Clay Vineyards. So Mason is a really growing wine industry there. There's a lot of things going on in Mason right now. There's at least 6 or 7 different wineries just in that area alone at the moment, and there's new AVAs coming. So Dan is behind the big push right now for one of the newest AVAs, or American Viticultural Areas, called the Hickory Sands. And that's going to be coming out hopefully for public comment this spring, and then should be officialized hopefully not long after that. And we'll have a brand new AVA here in Central Texas as part of the Hill Country AVA. And Dan is a great farmer winemaker. They do everything. He goes straight from the ground to the glass, and they age their wines in barrels for years before they're ready. That way they're ready to drink as soon as you get them. You don't have to worry about laying them down yourself. So really fun interview again with Dan and with Blake, his son, who helps him out there as well in the winery and in the vineyard. So go check out episode 34. While I was there, I was able to get their Ruby Cab. This is one of their Grand Reserve Ruby Cabs that I got aged 52 months in barrels. So that gives you an idea of how long he's aging his wines. Really great. One of the few times I've had a single varietal of Ruby Cab. I've always had it as blends and others, but it was so amazing to taste this incredible Ruby Cab. So you have to try that out when you go to see Dan and Jeannie and Blake there at the tasting room at Robert Clay Vineyards. And now moving on to some industry news. I don't have a lot going on at the moment. So you're going to want to make sure and check out the brand new Wine Passport Trail that's about to start here in March for the Texas Hill Country Wineries. They have a new one coming up called the Wine and Wildflower Journey. Tickets are going to be $100 for couples and $65 for individuals. And it runs from March 25th to April 19th, so almost a full month. Now, if you buy that passport, that entitles you to actually visit 4 different participating wineries every single day. So up to 4, so you can make great wine trips, do that on the weekends, or if you got some time, you can go during the weekdays for ones that are open. And it also entitles you to a discount of 15% on purchase of bottles 3 or more. So if you buy 3 or more bottles at any of the wineries, you get a 15% discount by being the passport member. Now, one thing to watch out for if you do that though, is that time frame includes April 8th, and a big event is coming up in April, on April 8th in Texas, especially Central Texas, which is the solar eclipse. We're gonna see great views of totality of that eclipse here in Central Texas. And for many of the wineries, I don't know of many that aren't having a solar eclipse party. So many of them are having a solar eclipse party on that day. And most of those are ticketed events where you're gonna have a ticket to get in. And your passport's not gonna count as that ticket. So just be aware of that. If you are a passport member and you're trying to visit wineries on April 8th, you may not have a lot of luck with that. So that's just something to keep on your radar. But go get that passport, because such an incredible, amazing way to try try great Texas wine, maybe see some new wineries that you haven't been to before, some of the ones that you've heard on this podcast, and it's very, very affordable. For the price, a couple for $100 or an individual for $65, you could in one day just do tastings that already cover the amount of what you paid for the whole Passport. So definitely worth a shot. Make sure you check out that Passport, the Wine and Wildflower Journey from Texas Hill Country Wineries. All right, now a couple of things upcoming. My very first all video episode is coming next week. Now, don't worry if you're an audio listener, that's okay. It's still going to be available on audio and everywhere you get your podcast. But here on YouTube, I'm going to have my first all video episode. That means instead of just a video intro and ending with a little audio in the middle, I'm going to have a full video interview. So I'm not going to tell you who it is yet. If you're one of my Patreon subscribers, you already know. But for the rest of you, wait, and coming up this coming Wednesday next week, you're going to see the release of my first all video episode. I'm really excited about that, to be able to have a whole video episode here on YouTube. So be looking for that. It's a fun episode as well. And again, like I've stated a couple times, my merch store is live. So if you're wanting to sport your Texas Undervine merchandise, make sure you go get some. And my store is live. We've got 5 items out there. One of them is the Season 1 t-shirt. Now, I'm starting to get into Season 2 a little bit. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to keep that Season 1 t-shirt up there yet. A few of you have already purchased that and gotten that. I encourage you to get it while you can, and know that a portion of the proceeds of that t-shirt is going to be donated back to the Texas Hill Country Wineries for their scholarship foundation. And it goes to giving scholarships to needy people who are working in the wine industry, whether that's in high school or even in college, to people who are going to be our future winemakers and growers and so forth here in the Texas wine industry. So it goes to a worthy cause, and you'll benefit even more so down the road just by buying my Season 1 t-shirt. And it's a cool like band t-shirt with showing all the dates of where I've been touring through Texas. So get that Season 1 t-shirt while you can. If you go to my website, texasundervine.com, just go up to the top and you will see it there for the merchandise store. All right, now I mentioned a moment ago, there is the eclipse coming up in April, on April 8th, and I'll have another one of these videos right before that, but I wanted to give you a quick list right now. I highly encourage you to go to a winery and check out the eclipse on that day. Take a day off from work, you deserve it, and go see this cool event in a way that you've not experienced it before, because the path of the totality goes right through wine country and the hill country right there. You'll not get a better view. Some places I've heard are gonna have as many as 4 to 5 minutes of totality with the solar eclipse. That's pretty incredible. And so almost every single winery is doing some sort of a solar eclipse event or a party or something. So check it out. Find a place to go. I've got a partial list of some of the episodes that I've done here that do have a solar eclipse party coming up. I'll read those off to you real quickly. 12 Fires, Winery and Vineyard, episode number 1, is having a great solar eclipse party. Texas Hills Vineyard, Hawks Shadow Winery, 290 Wine Castle, The Winery, Siboney Cellars, Abastris Winery, Longhorn Cellars, Colossi Cellars, Parissos Vineyards, Tornalox, Solaro Estate Vineyards and Winery, Bell Springs Winery, Mirestone Vineyards, Elisa Christopher Wines, Texas Heritage Vineyard, Bending Branch Winery, Horn Winery, and Hilmy Cellar. So those are all the ones that I've done episodes for that I could find a party for. Some of the others that I didn't list may be having a party. I just couldn't find anything about it on their websites. But go check those out. If there's any one of those that you want to go see, make sure you go to their website in advance, like now, because tickets are selling out like crazy. It's going to be a madhouse through wine country during that time. So get your tickets now. Go check out all of those places. Oh, I left out a couple. I'm sorry. William Chris Vineyards and Coolman Cellars also have parties as well. So check out those great wineries. Pick one that's to your liking, and maybe it's one you want to check out you haven't been to before, or maybe it's one that's just your old standby favorite, one that maybe you're a member of the wine club of, something like that. But just pick a place and go research, find out on their website the information about tickets for their party, and get those in advance. And then if you're looking for a place to stay, if you're headed to the Hill Country and you need a place to stay for the Eclipse event, make sure you check out Wrenwood Ranch. They were our bonus episode number 1 on the podcast. They have a series of cottages that they have built that they rent out through their website. You can go check out those short-term rentals for Wrenwood Ranch. They may be full right now. I don't know for sure, but it's worth checking out. And it's also worth checking out just in case you want to go at another time. If they are full, make sure you check out Wrenwood Ranch on another visit that you come to the Hill Country. And some of those other parties at the vineyards I mentioned might already be sold out in full. They're going fast, so make sure you jump on this. But you have to get to the Hill Country to check out that solar eclipse on April 8th. All right, with that, I don't really have a whole lot more. Again, I always solicit your feedback. So if there's anything that you would like to see me cover, you'd like to see me talk about, anything, any improvements, suggestions you might have for the show, please send me an email, scott@texasundervine.com, or find me on my socials. I'm almost all the social platforms as @TexasUnderVine. Should be able to find and message me that way. Whatever way you choose, just make sure to give me that feedback. I would love to hear what you have to say. And in that same vein, if you'd love to give a rating and a review, if you're watching this right now on YouTube, click the like button and then maybe subscribe. That way you get access to all the videos when they come out, notifications. And then on your podcast services, rate and review me there. Those ratings really help me get seen in the algorithms. Oh, our fun computer algorithms, right? But it helps us get seen in those algorithms, and the reviews really help others get excited about Texas wine, and maybe we get some more wine for Texas wine through that. So please, please, please leave me a rating and a review if you get a chance. I would really appreciate it. And lastly, if you want to become a patron of the website, you want to become one of my Patreon subscribers, you can go to the top of my webpage at Texas Under Vine and go to the Become a Patron link, and it'll take you to my Patreon page. There are several different levels. For just a few dollars a month, you can support the podcast, which really helps me get out to other places and cover my expenses. I'm a full-time high school teacher, so I foot all the bills for all of this right out of my pocket. So any help you can provide is greatly appreciated. I have some amazing Patreon subscribers, and my heart goes out to you. Thank you to all of my Patreon subscribers. You mean the world to me. But those Patreon subscribers get some extra added benefits. Like they get photos at the different wineries for each episode. They get videos, video walkthroughs, depending upon what level you subscribe at. And if you subscribe to the highest level, you even get sneak peeks of where I'm headed. So you're going to know before everyone else where the next episode is going to be before it even comes out. So check that out. It's Become a Patron at the top of my page. Anything you can do to help is so appreciated. Thank you so much. Just thank you for being a listener. That in and of itself is great, and it means the world to me. So with all that, I would say that's all I got for this month. So I'm going to see you next month in April. We'll be right on top of those solar eclipse events. It'll probably be too late to get your tickets at that point, so make sure you get them now. But I'm going to be doing a new one here in April. Until then, happy trails and bottoms up, y'all.